How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we are taking a look at how to take out capital peaks, and what I feel is the most reliable and consistent way out there. So we're going to be taking a look. It does take 3 attacks. There's really no way around it unless it's an absolutely terrible layout. But here is what the idea is. We're mostly using the sneaky archers and the rams, and the goal is to try and clear as much of the base as we can, and a lot of times you want to wrap around an edge of the capital peak. If you try to go down straight down the middle and the center, a lot of times that's where all of the traps are, and all the splash damage is usually covering that area, so you will be facing a lot of damage. So in my opinion, it is best to try and sneak around one of the edges and try to get to the capital peak. You're also trying to set up the attack with rages. You want to drop the rages over the high hit point buildings. So one definitely over the capital peak itself, and then one in range of where the archers will stand to target the other high hit point buildings, like the blast bow, inferno, and the rocket artilleries. Very important to drop just one pack of archers at a time if you're not going to be sending a ram in front, because most of the time your archers will get one shot by a bomb, and definitely by a giant bomb. So in this case we are dropping a rage in the middle here to sort of help speed things along. You do have to be careful of time when using the archers. So whenever you can drop 2 in different areas, that is always a very good idea. So that way you do not time fail. But in this attack, we are trying to get as close to the capital peak as possible, and trying to destroy as much of the center of the base as we can. A lot of times, to 3-shot a capital peak, it's all about planning for the next attack. So we know for the next attack, we're going to be able to clear this left-hand side, and we're going to be able to send in some archers to take out these big defenses. We're also going to be sending in some archers, I believe, to help clear out these on the second attack as well. Just a few more packs left, just trying to clear out, try to get the deployment zone opened up. Have a couple of extra rams that turns out we didn't need. And then yeah, the last pack archers we do to clear out the defenses right next to this rage. Another trick you can do is, as your archers are about to come out of stealth, you can drop a ram, and any of the defenses around that area will target the ram briefly. So as long as it's not a big splash damage defense, it'll usually buy your archers another second or 2 to deal a little bit extra damage. So now we are putting down the second rage so that the archers can target this back end rocket artillery and then help get them into the base. And then also we're placing another rage for the third and final attack. Typically you do need a rage for the capital peak. However, if we take out these defenses here, there is no other defenses surrounding the capital peak, which is awesome. So then we can just directly target it with the P.E.K.K.A, and the P.E.K.K.A alone can destroy it. You can use a bunch of different options to destroy the capital peak. I've been finding that the most reliable is using the P.E.K.K.A. I believe it's 40 housing space, and a lot of times you would need 5 or 6 packs of archers. So it's a little bit cheaper doing it this way with just the P.E.K.K.A. As you can see, the P.E.K.K.A goes right on the edge of the capital peak, and it's out of range of this rocket artillery. So while the P.E.K.K.A is doing their thing on the peak, we are just deploying one pack of archers at a time, taking out these defenses down here. Yeah, it's always nice if you can take out the capital peak on the first or the second hit, for sure. So that way you do have some flexible options on the third hit. If you do need to wait for the third hit with the capital peak, highly suggest that you take that out first, no matter what, because it has a massive range and it will decimate anything that it comes in contact with. A lot of times you're trying to set up the last and final attack with either Hog Riders or the rocket balloons. Those are usually the best bang for your buck, and then depending on what is available, if there are more air targeting defenses or more ground targeting defenses. So in this case, we see that there are these nice rocket defenses, easily targetable by the balloons. We see an exposed air bombs, so we distract with one pack of minions, drop in 2 rocket balloons, and then it's just a matter of sending in 1 pack of balloons to each of the remaining air targeting defenses. We get a few of these skeletons to tank for us, but there's only this wizard tower and the spear thrower and the last rapid rockets. So we went with balloons on this base. We went with the graveyard spells, as they do offer very good distraction. If there is a condensed area, you are welcome to use lightning, or if you want, you can use a rage spell. I would avoid the heal spell, though. That is, since it had gotten nerfed way back when, I really just cannot handle the splash damage while the units are in there. And I always recommend using the graveyards, as it is still very, very strong. So that is the first one. Taking out the last building. Nice 3 attacks. Now we're looking at the 6th raid. We do another 3-shot. So this one is the classic corner capital peak, but a very strange variation where there's only these defenses in the core, and then every single other defense is jam-packed right next to the capital peak. It's very, very interesting. So here we're just using 1 pack of minions for the giants. If you do have the option to get the exposed giant post, and sometimes people leave in the exposed rocket artillery. So usually the pack of minions and then a pack of balloons will easily take out that section. On this base, I see that with the minions down here and the spare archers, they'll clear some of this left-hand side trash. So we're going to deploy up the right-hand side of the base. Going to try and avoid as many traps as possible and get as much of the base as we can. This one, a lot of times there is just no possible way to get to the capital peak on the first hit. So you mostly just want to use the rages up front to really try and make a deep push, especially if you can get a lot of defenses around it. So here, we're just deploying the 1 pack of archers at a time, and then sometimes we'll sneak in a battle ram right as they're about to go down. Right there, unfortunately, got hit by a giant bomb, but it was only 1 pack. Another thing to note, which does catch a lot of people off guard, is that if your troops are staying alive long enough for the capital peak to lock onto them, you also have to wait for the capital peak shot to land, because that shot will destroy any smaller troop in 1 hit. So just so you know, just something to be watchful of when you're using the archers, because it's very deceiving sometimes, because you'll hear that sound wind up like it's targeting, and then it lands a second or 2 later. So if you think, oh, no more splash defenses are gonna land their shots, think again. So here we're just looking to see where we can use the last pack of archers and the last ram. use it to try and get a little bit of a split, because we're also trying to focus all of the troops on the next attack to the capital peak itself. So we take out about 42% of the base. A lot of it was the trash buildings. So now we're moving on to the second, and we are bringing in the P.E.K.K.A. because we know that we can for sure get to the capital peak with like 15 packs of archers. Typically, if you're trying to plan it out, it's 1 pack of archers per defense, unless they're pretty spread out. Then you might want to bring 2 for a high hit point defense. So we can say we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They're also in a rage, so we have more than enough packs of archers to get to the capital peak. So that's where I know for sure can definitely bring the P.E.K.K.A. on this attack, so we can just take out the capital peak and then have a very nice cleanup attack, which will go very smoothly. On this base in particular, since all the defenses are around the capital peak, on the third and final hit you can really use whatever you want. Hogs, Flying Fortress, balloons, a Super Wizard, spam strategy. It really just depends on what you think will be able to survive. Because the goal on the final hit of the capital peak is to not use or not lose any troops if you can help it. So that's where sometimes bringing in a heal, if you're using Hog Riders, is nice. Sometimes zapping down some stuff is nice. Other times using the graveyards, knowing that some stuff will die, but that hopefully that these skeletons will distract for all the other defenses. So here we are getting a little bit closer. So we're starting to use the Ram Rider trick, or the Battle Ram trick. So we'll use the 1 pack of archers, and then at the very end, when they're about to come out of stealth, we'll drop in the ram. And then there, unfortunately, we fall victim to the delayed capital peak hit. Tends to happen when you start running low on time, because you want to just speed through the process. But that's where you just got to be careful. And sometimes it's better towards the end just to deploy 2 packs of archers, so that you know you won't run out of time. Also, if you know there are no traps around the buildings. So we do clear this nice side for the P.E.K.K.A. And the P.E.K.K.A. in the rage only takes, probably like 15, 20-ish seconds to take out the capital peak. The only other defense that's targeting it is the multi-mortar, so that's perfect. If there are a bunch of defenses surrounding the capital peak, it still is usually worth it to bring in a P.E.K.K.A. The only exception is if there is a very well protected Inferno Tower, because if that locks onto your P.E.K.K.A., that is game over. So now we are using the Flying Fortress with some of the graveyards as distractions. Just gonna deploy the Flying Fortress up top so that it can distract all of these air bombs and air defenses, and then the balloons that fly in afterwards do get taken out by the rapid rockets, but then that spawns a few skeletons, so then it allows for the remainder of the balloons to survive, which is nice. Get some nice bonus gold. So that's where, it would be nice to be able to take out some of the capital peaks in 2 shots, but unless it is like a very poor layout, pretty much have to assume that it'll take 3 shots. And that is how I have been doing it, and how I have been preferring since the graveyard nerf, the -2 most recently per spell. It was always kind of close to 3-shot the capital peaks before, because a lot of times the first 2 attacks didn't get a whole lot, and then you had to take out the capital peak on its own. So now just going back to the sneaky archers and rams has been working out very nicely. So I hope this video was helpful. Hopefully it brings you some good successful attacks in the raid weekends. And if you want to help support me and the channel, you are welcome to hit the like button and subscribe. And there are some additional videos on the screen if you want to check them out. Thank you so much. Take care.